at the top. According to a report by Jeff Kassouf, Emma Hayes is in advanced talks for the US women's national team head coaching job and is set to leave Chelsea at the end of the season. And for more on this, let's welcome in our very own Lisa Carlin, co-host of Attacking Third. Lisa, good morning. So nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. What's your reaction to this news? Because she was one of 3 names that was rumored to take over from Vlatko. And if she is the person, is she the right choice?
Poppy, I was surprised to hear that Emma Hayes dropping this news. I mean, Jeff Kassouf does tremendous journalism and he's got a lot of inside sources. So this is trustworthy for sure. Emma Hayes is a fantastic manager. You look at her resume and what she's been able to do. She stepped into the Super League and with Chelsea in 2012. Since then, she's won 6 Super League titles, 5 FA Cups. She's got 6 Manager of the Season awards under her belt. And she's been there for a long time, dealing with a lot of big personalities. She's had a lot of success doing it. The fact that she wants to leave all of the success that she's had at Chelsea with the superstar players under her, you look at Sam Kerr, Lauren James, and take on an incredibly large challenge that is the United States women's national team, a team that in the news right now is failing, and they have failed at the World Cup, not getting out of the group stage, not advancing. It's a very tall mountain for Emma Hayes to climb. She is the manager for the job, though. She's very decorated. She can deal with big personalities. She understands how to take a club and develop it. I mean, it's very evident with what she's done at Chelsea. And when you look at her managerial history, she spent time in the United States. She was at the collegiate level. And most importantly, she coached with the Chicago Red Stars in the NWSL for a number of years. She was there for about 3 seasons. So she understands the American system and how these players play, how they grow up going through the college system. She has that background, which will only help her when she takes over as the U.S. women's national team head coach.
Hi, Lisa. So Emma Hayes is another manager like Vlatko that's transitioning from club to national team, where there's obviously a big difference, right? Do you think she's better equipped for the job?
That is a great question. It's one of my biggest concerns I have with hiring someone like Emma Hayes for this role. She has no international experience. And the biggest transition is going from a club coach to an international coach is you don't have time with these players day in and day out on the training pitch. You get them as they are for maybe a handful of days before a friendly. The most extended time is before an international tournament, the closest one being the Olympics in Paris in 2024. She'll get about 2-3 weeks with these players. That's not enough time to change formations, change tactics. You have to be a manager in those situations that can adapt really quickly, assess and evaluate the players in a short amount of time, communicate with them effectively about what roles you want them to play, and then have training sessions that are really efficient, that get the players into game-like situations, whether it's smaller side trainings or just tactical visuals that you can give players to understand what kind of role you want them to have. And as a coach that has never had to deal with that at an international level, it's going to be hard to transition. That's where Vlatko Andonovski failed in his most recent tenure under the United States. As a club coach, Andonovski was incredibly successful, but once he didn't have the players day in and day out and he had a bit more pressure on his shoulders, that's when he crumbled. So for Emma Hayes to take over this U.S. side, she's going to need to use the resources that are around her, trust her instincts, and trust the intelligence of these players, because they are the 0.01% at the top of the world. They can compete and understand what she wants them to say. She just has to be able to trust them.
Lisa, you mentioned before that she's been there forever, since 2012, which is crazy in and of itself. Do you think it is just the fact that she wants a new challenge? And second part to that, do you have any question marks about this personally?
I think that this is a good challenge for her. And why wouldn't she want this? She's had a lot of stability at Chelsea since 2012. And when you look at her most recent contract that was signed with Chelsea in 2021, there was no end date on it. That was a kind of like a gentleman's agreement between Emma Hayes and the club Chelsea to understand that, hey, we really like you. You've had a lot of success here. And as a manager, she likes the club and she has a lot of power to bring in the players that she wants, and she's built a pedigree. The fact that she breaks this contract after a dominant 6-0 performance by Chelsea just earlier today over Aston Villa, and this announcement comes from the club saying that she's not going to leave until the end of this season. The Women's Super League season just started. Chelsea's at the top of the table, and they play all the way through the winter until May. probably a little bit longer. What does that mean for the United States between now and May? If she's not leaving her post as manager of Chelsea until the end of the season, there are friendlies to prepare for. There are camps to get players called into. There's a new calendar year, new stock of players coming out of college that all need to be looked at and evaluated to be on the United States women's national team roster, all before the Olympics coming. So I have a big concern about how she's going to time manage this. It's not even like she's in the United States or at U.S. Soccer headquarters in Chicago. She's all the way at Chelsea in England. How does she manage her time to be able to give the rest of her time at Chelsea what it deserves? Because she does owe that to the players and the club over there in the Super League, but she's taking on an incredibly large role here. She has to get her coaching staff in order, and she has to get these players ready for an Olympics in which the entire world is watching to see if the United States are going to step up to the challenge or continue to fail.
Lisa, I got one question for you. It's a quick one. Mateo has a podcast. Marco has his own podcast. Can you please explain to them what the silver headphones are on the back of your thing? Because they don't even know what that is.
Yes, they are Signal Awards. We Attacking Third as a podcast. We won as one of the best female hosted podcasters. I will say
what'd you guys win?
The trick to doing it is getting a really good co-host in Sandra Herrera, because she knows everything inside and out, and it's easy to work with. So
Marco's
get
been
good partners
since
and get good people to promote.
The funny part is Mateo's the one who brought it up.
No, the best part is they didn't even know there was an award. Yeah. They didn't even know. They never even been invited to the award.
She said we got to blame the
How
co-host.
did you not ask Emma Hayes' question? You've been writing it down all morning.
And you have a great co-host.
It's not the co-host.
Actually you two that are the problem here. Lisa,
maybe we got to team up with you.
Thanks so much. Congrats on the award again, by the way.
Bravo.
Attacking Third. Fantastic watch. And if there's any
you
more
guys gotta
breaking
have
news.
Poppy get on the show.
I love coming on Attacking Third, by the way. I've done them a couple of
Luckily
times.
for you, it's 3 times a week.
Mike Grella, you should go on and join them.
Anytime.
Yeah.
I would love to.
Well, we might be speaking to you later on in the day, Lisa, if any more news breaks. Thanks so much for joining us. See you soon.